Today we will study iron deficiency anemia. Iron deficiency anemia is the most common nutritional disorder in the world. Iron is a very important mineral, and it is required for synthesis of normal heme of hemoglobin. We know that heme consists of porphyrin protein and iron in the center. Its deficiency leads to decreased erythropoiesis and the resulting anemia is called as iron deficiency anemia. 50% of total anemias are attributable to iron deficiency. That means iron deficiency is the most prevalent type of anemia, and the typical peripheral smear of iron deficiency anemia is of microcytic and hypochromic RBCs. Microcytic means small size and hypochromic means less iron in them, or in turn less hemoglobin in the RBCs. What are the causes for iron deficiency anemia? Before we start iron deficiency anemia, we know that the classification for anemia is of three. The etiological classification is in three categories. Number 1, decreased production of RBCs. Number 2, increased destruction of RBCs. And number 3, blood loss. Now the blood loss can be acute and chronic, right, like accidents, or chronic like ulcers in the stomach. Whereas increased destruction of RBCs will come under hemolytic anemia category, and the first category, decreased production of RBCs, consists of iron deficiency anemias, megaloblastic anemias and aplastic anemias. So today we will study all of them. So iron deficiency anemias, the causes for the iron deficiency in some person could be due to these three reasons. First is increased demand, second is increased iron loss or iron loss from the body which is increased, and number third is decreased iron intake or absorption. Either person is not taking iron properly, or the absorption inside the person is not proper of iron. Right, so the increased demand for iron, it can be due to rapid growth, as in infancy. In small age there is rapid growth and the iron requirement is more, or in adolescence, after puberty, especially after when the menses have started, right, in adolescent age, pregnancy or breastfeeding. In these cases the demand for iron increases in the body. Erythropoietin therapy. Erythropoietin is a hormone which is released by kidney and is responsible for the production of RBCs, that is erythropoiesis. So erythropoiesis is done by erythropoietin, which is a hormone secreted by the kidney. And second is increased iron loss. Increased iron loss can be chronic blood loss. Now the chronic blood loss for small age, the most common cause is hookworms, worms inside the intestines. They suck the blood, so that is increased blood loss or increased iron loss. Old age, gastric ulcers, or use of proton pump inhibitors, right, the antacids or the proton pump inhibitors, they causes the gastric ulcers, and the antacids also decreases the absorption of iron. Next is menses. Through the menstrual blood is lost. Acute blood loss like accidents or some wounds or cuts, blood donations, excessive blood donations. Then decreased iron intake or absorption. Decreased iron intake as in inadequate diet, not proper diet, or not diet which is rich in iron. Malabsorption from disease, for example sprue. We have already studied sprue. Sprue is an indigestion disorder, right. Crohn's disease, again inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn disease, which causes malabsorption of the food. Malabsorption from surgery, for example gastrectomy, if the stomach is removed, or some other form of bariatric surgeries. Acute and chronic inflammation in the body, they also lead to reduced iron absorption. Pathogenesis. So the iron deficiency anemia, the pathogenesis can be divided into three stages. The stage 1 is iron depletion. In the initial stages, the iron is inadequate to maintain normal levels of hemoglobin in the blood, right. The serum iron as the serum iron depletes, the serum ferritin level, which is a storage iron, it is released. The iron from the serum ferritin is released into the blood, so that the normal serum iron levels are maintained, but the serum ferritin levels, they decreases. Number 2 is iron deficient erythropoiesis. When the iron reserves that is the serum ferritin levels, they progressively drop, and thereby the serum iron levels also drop. The transferrin saturation levels also drop as a result, because there is not enough iron to saturate the transferrin in the blood, which produces anemia. The anemia which is produced initially, in that the hemoglobin, the MCV and the MCH are in the normal range, because we have enough or we have the iron reserves, we have the serum ferritin levels, still we have some of the serum ferritin levels, right? So at this stage the bone marrow shows iron deficient erythropoiesis. That means erythropoiesis, the formation of RBCs is normal, but the RBC or the hemoglobin formation is deficient in iron. Number third is stage when the iron deficiency anemia is completely seen. In this, the iron stores, that is the serum ferritin levels, have dropped below 15%, and as a result the serum iron levels also drop. The transferrin saturation also drops, because there is no iron to saturate the transferrin protein, right? Then what happens? The hemoglobin production is impaired, because hemoglobin requires globin chains and the heme molecule has porphyrin ring and the iron element. So the iron element is missing, so the hemoglobin production is impaired. So what happens when the hemoglobin production is impaired? Then the RBCs cannot be filled with enough hemoglobin. As a result, the RBCs reduces in size, and we call that as microcytic RBCs or microcytic anemia. The RBC size is decreased, and also because the hemoglobin is less in the RBC, the central pallor increases. Central pallor is normal in RBCs, but when it increases, we call that as hypochromia. So these RBCs or these microcytic RBCs are having more pallor inside them. So these are the three stages. Number one, this is the normal stage. So this is the hemoglobin, right? This is the hemoglobin. These are the RBCs filled with hemoglobin, and this yellow here represents the green here represents the storage iron, the serum ferritin and the hemosiderin, right? So this everything is normal. In stage 1 iron depletion, the storage iron, the serum ferritin and the hemosiderin levels are coming down, but the hemoglobin is normal, the serum iron is also normal. In second stage, the storage iron is completely finished, right? Then the RBCs are being formed, because there is still serum iron left. Some of the serum iron is still left, but the overall iron is less, so the erythropoiesis become deficient in iron. In third stage, there is no storage iron left, there is no serum iron left, serum ferritin is also low, serum iron is also low. So then the RBCs becomes deficient in hemoglobin, and iron deficiency anemia dawns completely. So basically, there is a disturbance in proliferation and maturation of RBCs because of deficient heme synthesis. And why there is deficiency in hemoglobin synthesis, or we can say the particular heme synthesis, because globin protein is very much being produced, but the heme is not being produced because there is not sufficient iron in the body. So there is deficiency of heme synthesis, in turn there is deficiency of hemoglobin, in turn there is disturbance of proliferation and maturation of RBCs. Hemoglobin decreases, and as a result the red cells, they become small in size, microcytic. The hemoglobin concentration, that is the weight of the hemoglobin, the MCHC, mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, also decreases, and as a result the cells becomes less in iron. We call that as hypochromic. The RBCs becomes less in iron or less in hemoglobin. We call that as hypochromic. What are the clinical features? The most important clinical features are fatigue, pallor, and reduced exercise capacity. Cheilosis is fissures at the corner of the mouth. You can see fissuring at the angle of the mouth. Angular stomatitis, it is also called as angular stomatitis. Glossitis is inflammation of the tongue. The tongue become swollen and red with reduced red and swollen Colonychia is spooning of the fingernails. These fingernails become spoon-like. You can see it is like a spoon. Right, these are the signs of advanced tissue iron deficiency. If somebody is having this colonychia, that means he is having iron deficiency from a very long time. Other clinical features are pica. The person, especially the children, they start eating mud, they start eating soil, or they start eating chalk, or they start eating coal, clay. Right. Pagophagia is when the child starts eating, or the person starts eating ice. Right, ice cubes. They start loving to eat ice cubes. Investigations. So the hemoglobin, number one investigation, investigation is hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin percentages are decreased 6 to 10 gram per deciliter at the time of diagnosis. Right, generally the symptoms are very much clear when it is in the range of 6 to 10. Hematocrit values are also reduced. That is the packed cell volume. So the packed cell volume, the cell volume, RBC volume has been decreased because of the microcytic red cells, the smaller RBCs. Reticulocyte count is also low. We know that the reticulocytes are the precursors of the RBCs, so the reticulocytes, they also decreases. Then red cell indices, the mean corpuscular volume, MCV. Hematocrit is packed cell volume. This MCV is mean corpuscular volume. Hematocrit also reduces because the overall number of RBCs also decreases, or we can say the volume of the overall RBCs, the mean of the overall RBCs also decreases. The mean corpuscular volume, that is of 1 RBC, it also reduces because the cell has become reduced in size. Second is mean corpuscular hemoglobin, MCH. Right, the hemoglobin decreases, so it also reduces. MCHC, definitely it will reduce. It will be less than 27, less than 35, less than normal. Red cell distribution, width, the red cells, they become of various sizes. Some are normal, some are smaller, so the red cell distribution width increases. Peripheral smear, in peripheral smear we see that the red blood cells are microcytic, they are small, and they are hypochromic, they are pale, they are the pallor inside the RBCs, it has increased. Iron profile is very important to diagnose iron deficiency anemia. Serum ferritin levels decreases, right, and then the serum iron level also decreases. Sometimes the serum iron level is normal, serum ferritin levels are decreased, that means the iron deficiency anemia is in the primary stages. Then serum transferrin saturation also decreases because there is not enough iron in the plasma, in the blood, to saturate the transferrin, so the serum transferrin saturation decreases, and the total plasma iron binding capacity, it increases. Right, the TIBC, plasma iron binding capacity, or you can say the transferrin, the available transferrin in the blood has increased, so the levels of TIBC will increase. Always remember, only the TIBC levels will increase, rest everything will decrease in iron deficiency anemia, should decrease in iron deficiency anemia. So here is the slide, you can see the microcytic hypochromic red blood cells. These RBCs, these smaller RBCs, these are normal RBCs, these are smaller RBCs with increased pallor inside, so these are microcytic hypochromic RBCs. So when we are differentiating iron deficiency anemia, we should include 3 more diseases. One is anemia of inflammation, next is thalassemia, and another one is sideroblastic anemia. So next is anemia of inflammation. So the second most common form of anemia is anemia of inflammation. After iron deficiency anemia, the most common type of anemia prevalent in the society is anemia because of the inflammation. The inflammation can be acute or chronic, both leads to anemia. And the infection leads to inflammation, so it is one and the same thing. Previously it was infection, now it is inflammation, so it is the short form is AI. Right, the causes for these infections, or the causes for these chronic inflammations, are infections like tuberculosis, malignancies, diabetes, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. The serum ferritin levels are the most distinguishing between these, differentiating between IDA and these AI. The acute infections, they can also produce anemia. They can suddenly decrease the hemoglobin by 2 to 3 grams per deciliter within 1 to 2 days. What is the pathogenesis for developing anemia of inflammations, AIs? So the two main pathways are there. First is decreased RBC lifespan, and second is decreased RBC production. Both leads to the deficiency of RBCs, thereby leading to anemia. So decreased RBC lifespan is because of the direct cell destruction from toxins, from the bacteria or from the viruses or from the autoimmune diseases, whatever is the reason, right? So whatever the reason is producing inflammation, so that reason directly is cytotoxic to the RBCs. Second is decreased RBC productions. The RBC production is also decreased by the presence of inflammation in the body, because inflammation leads to release of cytokines, and these cytokines in turn dysregulate the iron homeostasis in the body. That means the iron regulation or the iron metabolism in the body is dysregulated by the releases of cytokines. How? Mainly two types of cytokines are involved: TNF alpha, IFN gamma, and IL-6. This TNF alpha and IFN, interferon and TNF, tumor necrosis factor, they decreases the production of erythropoietin by the kidney, right? When erythropoietin is less, there is less erythropoiesis, and there is less erythropoiesis is decreased RBC production. IL-6, this IL-6, it produces it increases the production of hepcidin from the liver. Liver start producing, in the presence of cytokine IL-6, it start producing, or it increases the production of hepcidin. Hepcidin is a protein, and this protein decreases the absorption of iron in the duodenum. We already know that the iron is absorbed in the duodenal, iron is absorbed by the duodenal cells. So this protein hepcidin decreases the absorption of iron in the duodenal cells. Plus, it also suppresses the iron releases from the storage sites, right? Storage sites like liver, storage site like spleen. So it also suppresses the release of iron from these sites. So what happens as a result? The serum iron levels falls. The serum iron levels become less day by day. As the iron is being utilized by the bone marrow, the serum iron levels consistently drops. Whereas the serum ferritin level, the storage iron, it stays normal, or sometimes even it is high. It is not being used. Basically, this release of hepcidin, or the increase in the production of hepcidin, is a defensive mechanism of the body, because this iron is very important element which is required by the microorganisms to maintain their functions. So in order to make it unavailable to the infectious agents, the body starts producing the hepcidin, which decreases the absorption of iron, and it also decreases the release of iron from the storage site. Thereby the microorganisms are having less availability of iron in the blood. The clinical features are same as that of the iron deficiency anemias. Fatigue, pallor, and shortness of breath on physical activity are the main investigations. The hemoglobin, they show mild decrease. Transferrin levels, they are also low, because serum iron level will be low. Serum iron levels are low, whereas the serum ferritin levels are normal, or even they can be high. So serum ferritin level is the differentiating diagnostic lab investigation for diagnosing anemia of chronic inflammation. Definitely in chronic inflammation, the inflammatory markers like acute phase reactants like CRP, like ESR, they will be high. So by those also we can determine the inflammation inside the body. But if somebody is suffering from anemia and is having chronic inflammation, the serum ferritin level is the differentiating diagnostic lab investigation. The reticulocyte count is low because the erythropoietin levels are low because of the release of cytokines. Then hepcidin levels, the hepcidin protein levels, they are high in the blood. Peripheral smears generally show normocytic and normochromic RBCs, because RBC size will not be reduced, because there will not be much deficiency of hemoglobin. So generally the normocytic and normochromic peripheral smears are, the RBCs are seen. However, one can find microcytic and hypochromic also if the hemoglobin levels have decreased more. So because the reticulocyte count is low, that is why these are called as hypoproliferative anemia. Hypo means less, proliferative means proliferation or the production of RBCs. So the reticulocyte count is less, then that is why they are called as hypoproliferative anemias. So how to differentiate between iron deficiency anemia and anemia of inflammation? We know that in iron deficiency anemia, the iron profile, everything will be less except for TIBC. TIBC will be high because the liver start producing more transferrin, and more transferrin means the more binding capacity, and more binding capacity means TIBC is high. Whereas in anemia of inflammation, the serum ferritin levels are high because the body has started producing the hepcidin protein, which decreases the absorption. First, it decreases the absorption of iron from the intestine, from the duodenal cells, and second, it also suppresses the release of iron from the iron stores in the body. So thereby the serum ferritin levels are normal, or they might be even high, whereas the serum iron levels, they are continuously depleting because the iron is being used from the serum iron, the iron is being used by the bone marrow. Also the TIBC levels are low because TIBC is basically the levels basically to check the levels of transferrin. So transferrin production has become less because of the inflammation, because the liver has stopped producing, or liver has reduced the production of transferrin. So the transferrin overall levels have become low, thereby the binding capacity has also become low, so the TIBC levels are low. Whereas the transferrin saturation, the percentage transferrin saturation is normal because the transferrin can normally saturate the iron, right? Because the transferrin is low, so that low transferrin can normally saturate the whatever less iron is available in the blood serum, so it is normal. So the differentiating feature is serum ferritin. Serum ferritin levels in anemia of inflammation, they are normal, or they are high.